Hey guys, just out checking on some crops. The last patch of cucumbers we had, we got really busy and we let them get away from us without getting them tied and trellised. If you don't trellis cucumbers, you ought to try it, because you will, I don't know that it increases your yield a whole lot, but it certainly increases your plant health and your marketable yield when you're not stomping them vines. So I kind of let my guys handle this stuff, and they've been with us long enough that they kind of know the drill, and they said that they wanted to put the strings on ahead of time. Usually we do it kind of like we would tomatoes, Florida weaving them, but they said they wanted to put the strings on ahead of time, and every few days they'll come through and grab the vines that are getting long. I don't know what they do, but looks like they've done a pretty decent job, because they got most of the cucumbers on the trellis. Group number 2, or patch number 2 of half runners is coming along. The other field is not quite completely played out yet. Our market has certainly slowed down for half runners. These are all bloomed out, and look right there, got some little half runners coming along. So I think the timing is going to be just about right, and I've got another area where I'm fixing to plant some more half runners. Actually, it'll be where the last cucumber patch was. We're going to utilize that trellis from those and plant our half runners right there and let them take off and go up the cucumber trellis. This is a new to me variety of snap bean, and it is sold as a machine harvested snap bean, but what I was after when I ordered the seed, I could not get. I usually grow a variety of snap bean called Strike, very good bean, but I couldn't get them. They were out of seed, so I went with this. It's supposed to be, I told him I wanted the machine harvested bean that lended itself the best to hand picking. So anyway, that's what these are. And would you look at the blooms on these things? Oh wow, we need to kind of run over these sometime in the next couple of days. I got beans on them. That's awesome, because our other snap beans are played out. We're finished picking them. The guys are over here. We've just started pulling some sweet corn, and I'll take you over there and show you. I think it's Mountain Morning. That's what these are red rounds. But man, they are loaded up with some pretty number 1s. No, I got excited. I thought that was a red round tomato. Look at that, Mr. Stripe. Actually, it's not a Mr. Stripey, it's a Stripe German. Look at that son of a gun right there. Now that's what I call a tomato. That's pretty. But up through here, like right here, these are the Red Mountain, or Red Morning. This is Red Morning, is what these are. Look at the number of tomatoes on this plant, and look at the size of the tomatoes on this plant. That is these are nice tomatoes, and every plant is loaded like that. But typically your red rounds, you're gonna start picking them first. And I don't know what's up this year, but this year all the heirlooms have started coming off first. We've had a ton of bottom rot this year. Don't really know what's up with that. They've gotten plenty of calcium, running calcium nitrate regularly. They had plenty of it up front. pH is right. I talked to some other people that said that they were dropping a lot of tomatoes for blossom end rot. I don't know what the deal is, but that it was just like the first bloom. I don't know if it was a cold weather thing or something damaged them. I don't know. But anyway, we're starting to pull some really pretty big tomatoes. There's a Cherokee Purple. It's got a little bit of a split in it. These are a Brandywine tomato. You can tell by the potato leaf. Brandywine are called a potato leaf variety. You can see the way the leaves look on a Brandywine versus like a Cherokee Purple right here. I love a Brandywine tomato. They're monstrous. Really good flavored tomatoes. Got some Cherokee Purples down through here. Striped Germans, German Johnsons. We got some other tomatoes and peppers that are further behind. Okra. Been picking okra for a while now. We probably will come through in a couple of weeks with clippers and cut all this okra off about 6 inches tall in one row. And that will, they call that ratooning. You can ratoon okra, you can ratoon eggplant, which means if you cut it off at the ground, it's going to sucker back out and produce another plant. And it'll take off and you'll be back into having a young okra plant very soon by doing that. Here is our first cucumber field that's pretty well played out, and all we've got to do is I'll probably come through here and spray some AIM or something like that and kill these cucumbers and kill the horse nettle and juncus growing up the middle. Maybe mix in some Roundup to kill this Stearns Johnson grass, and then I'll come through here with the Polyplanter Junior and plant a row of half runners down each side of the trellis. That's the way I've always done my half runners. Get them good and thick. In my opinion, I mean, I guess you can get them too thick, but when they're good and thick, it costs you less to pick them. You might, I don't know, I guess there's pros and cons to it, but in my opinion, if you can grab them by the handful, it's going to cost less to pick. Right here is the first plant and a half runner, and you can see there's a bunch of them still on here. We're actually probably a little bit behind on them. They look like they should have been picked today, but we're to a point in the season where we can't hardly get it all done. The boys had to hoe pumpkins this morning, and that kind of got them behind a little bit for today. But this field is our first plant of snap beans. You can see the grass is overrun in here. The reason that the grass is so bad is normally I always spray Dual Magnum, and Dual Magnum will really do a good job of taking care of the grass. And this year, because we're going to expand our strawberries, so the strawberries are going to have to come down this way a little bit, and I did not want to put any pre-emerge of any sort down and take a chance of having any kind of negative effect on our strawberries. So I mean, considering I've not sprayed any pre-emerge, we've done a pretty good job of keeping this field clean. These are some tomatoes that actually got way too big in the greenhouse and don't look all that healthy, but this will be our late planting of tomatoes. I think they will turn around. They already are starting to. I mean, that's looking pretty good. And I got to plant a couple rows of snaps for some really late snap beans, a couple rows of squash, and a couple rows of cucumbers. We have started picking our seedless watermelons, which I am very happy with. We ate one yesterday and it was on time. I used to not like seedless watermelons all that much, and I don't know if it's because most of them were grown down south of us, and so they might have been a little bit before they were totally ripe when they were picked, and just for shippability, and that's caused them to not be as good. But I don't know, the ones we're picking are on time. Very, very good. But we have started picking some, and you can see we've got evidently we've got a coon problem. That's frustrating. Picking cantaloupes as well. There's a bunch of them laying out here. And the boys are in here pulling some sweet corn as we speak. So if y'all are close to here, come get you some sweet corn. They 60 years in a bag, and it's $20 a bag, 50 cents a ear, or $5 a dozen. Some good looking bicolor sweet corn. This is really the first year that we've ever grown much sweet corn, because it's just so darn expensive to grow that it's hard to make any money at. But it's one of them things that people will make a trip to get, and sometimes you got to have a marginal break-even crop to help you sell everything else. So it looks pretty good. This is actually one of the smaller ears that I have pulled. Looky there. Boy, it's nice. Not an earworm in sight. Filled out nice and pretty. That's a good looking sweet corn. So I'm kind of halfway to the maintain part of the season. I don't want to say I'm caught up, because I don't ever really feel like I'm caught up, but I have got everything planted more or less. The pumpkins kind of more or less wrap up the planting for us. After that, we will do some replanting, like I just mentioned, on the planting the snaps and planting the half runners. The tomatoes we just planted, but that's kind of minor details. The majority of the hecticness of the spring is over with, but this is a point in the season where it's easy for me to get lax and start not paying close enough attention to things, and that's where I mess up. But just trying to get some water run, and I've had a lot of sawmilling work lately, and I've been trying to get caught up on it. That's the reason I haven't been doing a whole lot of filming, because I ain't been doing a lot of farming that I thought would really be interesting to film. But anyway, that's kind of where we at. I do have some exciting new stuff I have acquired. Bought some 4-inch aluminum pipe, which I'm pretty excited about. If you've been following the channel for very long, you know that every year is a fight with the blue lay flat run all over creation here, and trying to keep the mice holes at bay, because the mice love to chew holes in our blue lay flat, especially when it gets to be really dry weather. I don't know, I've been told that they can smell water inside of stuff. I don't know if it's that or if it's just because it's something rubber for them to chew on, but either way, they chew on it a lot. We've got holes, we got brand new hose run all the way up to the field, and it's already got holes chewed in it. Fairly confident they're not going to chew holes in this aluminum. And I have purchased a new pump. I know if you've been watching, you've seen the blue Ford pump that I just got. Probably gonna fix it up and sell it, because I have bought a fire truck pump with a Deutz air-cooled diesel on it, which I'm really excited about, because those Deutz are supposed to be really good engines, and being a little 25 horsepower 2-cylinder diesel, it should really sip fuel and pump a lot of water while it's sipping fuel. So you'll see the process as I go along on it. I'll take you with me, but we got to build some running gear for it. Right now it's mounted on a skid where it's in a brush truck for the fire department. So I'm gonna put running gear on it, put a hood over it, and I've got a primer pump, a 12-volt primer pump, prime off the battery, and I'm gonna buy a Mercury safety panel switch for it and make it really nice. If you remember back in the winter, if you saw my videos covering strawberries, the wind demolished our row covers, and I have made the decision that instead of spending $3,000 or $4,000 buying row covers again, that I would spend a small percentage of that and buy the additional equipment that I need to overhead irrigate. And we are going to go on, we're going to start overhead frost protecting our strawberries as opposed to pulling row covers. It's going to make some sleepless nights for me. Yeah, right there's a good example of what mice do to our blue lay flat. But the overhead irrigation, frost protection for the berries is going to make some sleepless nights for me. But I feel like that we're going to end up with ultimately better frost protection, because we end up, every year we end up losing some blooms even with the row covers on. So hopefully we get this overhead. It's going to virtually eliminate that as long as it's executed properly. And they're coming out with, they've really made huge advancements in sprinkler technology, and this stuff may have been around longer than I realized, but Netafim's making some sprinklers now, and this company, I can't remember the name of them, but they make a sprinkler called a Wobbler. And both of these, the Netafim MegaNet I believe it is, and these Wobblers both operate off very low pressure and very low volume. I'm talking like 25 psi and like 3 gallons a minute, and it'll sprinkle a 50-foot circle. That's pretty impressive. So 50-foot circle is perfect for our strawberries, because that's how wide the beds are. We'll just have 5 sprinklers for each block of berries, and have that Deutz. And I'd love to have some kind of a backup pump. I may get that Ford going, and when it gets about time for frost to start hitting, have both of them sitting there to where I could use them. I could, at a minute's changeover, I could have the other one running if one quit on me. But anyway, we'll figure it out as we go. But I just wanted to kind of give y'all an update on where we're at the farm with all of the stuff we got going on here on the 13th of July. I appreciate y'all watching, and hit that subscribe button if you hadn't already. Hit that like button, comment, ask questions. I try to get back to all the questions if you ask a question. I love comments too. I like reading through them. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time.